It's preparing. I guess maybe it's preparing here. And welcome. I'm going to keep admitting people to the Zoom. I love it. So we're just going to give everybody a second here. Make sure that we are redirected, I believe now to Facebook. Yes, we are. So if your friends and family can see you there, okay, I'm going to see how many screens I can get here. Can I put that screen? Oh, I think maybe I have, well, maybe not. Hold on. I'm trying to do a double screen myself here so that I can put this one up here. Don't we love technology? So good morning, or good afternoon. I guess now at this point it is lunchtime and it's afternoon, but welcome everybody. I'm Heidi from Hen and Chick Studio in Conrad, Iowa, but I'm not in Conrad. But Jamie is still with me. But she is in Conrad. So we, at this very moment, are on both Zoom and in Facebook. So if anybody's following along in Facebook and puts comments in there, we'll try to catch those as well. But welcome to everybody. And how are you doing, Jamie, over there? We don't feel like we got as much snow as they were predicting.
No, right now, and we are live on Facebook. I'm on there right now. Yep.
But I don't think we were supposed to get 3 to 9 inches.
I would say we got that snow, judging by driving home last night in the not being plowed. We were discussing that earlier. I would say we got that snow. Maybe everybody else didn't, but in town right now, it's hard. The streets have been plowed, so it looks like it's just a winter right now. But I'm sure the roads are not nice that haven't been plowed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the cold temperatures. So if you haven't heard, we are closed at Hen and Chick Studio today because of the cold temperatures and all of that. It's just nobody needs to be out in this. Of course, we're available via email and telephone and all of that. So if somebody really needs something today, they can reach us, or hopefully you've jumped online. Let's see.
And there's a couple of people, Heidi, that are making comments on the Facebook link. If they want to join us on the Zoom, which would be awesome to have them just join in, even if they, come that way so we can see your little smiley face for a while. Don't worry if you haven't washed your hair, just put a Santa hat on and it's all good.
Oh,
or whatever. And that link, if you are wondering where it is available also. Isn't it also on the website or online on Facebook?
Yep, I sent it out in an email this morning. So if you're on our email list, you would be getting it there. But if you're on Facebook, it's on my personal page, it's on our business page. So it is in multiple places.
Yep, it's on mine too, if somebody's looking for it. And so,
so it absolutely is.
Do you see people still trying to join, Heidi? They come to admit.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so just so people know that as we're going along here, is that Heidi has to admit you, so it might take a split second before you get back to him if you're doing something else. Right. So keep joining in if you're on Facebook, because I see there are some people on Facebook that aren't on this. So go ahead and open up that Zoom link. That's all you have to do, right? Yep. Just click on that Zoom link and it will.
Yep, you just click on the Zoom link, and as soon as I see you go into the admit room, in the waiting room, then I am admitting everybody. So absolutely. Okay, so is this, I just got to know, is the blizzard changing plans for people? I know at our house we have some things kind of up in the air. Is everybody like, no, we're settled in and ready to go? Anybody want to jump in and tell us what they're up to?
My plans were already to stay home and quilt as much as possible. And so this just like exacerbates it because nobody else can try and get me to do other stuff.
There you go, right? Except maybe your cat.
And Melanie, do you want to at least introduce yourself and where you're from?
Sure, I'm Melanie Hauser. I live in Storm Lake, Iowa. So we got a decent amount of snow. The wind hasn't picked up yet that they're talking about, but I did forget to get gas for the snowblower. So it was a cold trip to Casey's this morning to get gas.
Oh, yeah, that would be a cold trip to go get gas. Absolutely. I have a pretty low tank of gas in my car. I thought about getting it last night and I'm like, I'll wait till Saturday.
Mhm.
I'm not going anywhere.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's right. That's right. And anybody else? I know I was gonna say, are celebrations at your house?
Hi, girls. I'll say hi today.
Hi,
Hi.
Ann, how are you doing?
I'm good. Fun to see you. Hi, Millie and Jamie, who I know. And I'm not stitching yet. I'm cooking more because this cold weather keeps making me think of more holiday treats I should make.
Oh,
So
and Ann, since you are like the kitchen queen, what is one thing that you're making? Tempt us all with your yumminess.
well, right now, next I'm gonna make this into that caramel
Oh, yeah.
popcorn that the kids call caramel crack.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna make that, and then I need to make another batch of Spritz cookies today. So, but I was gonna tell you, I just saw a picture of someone who
Lay down.
took her family's recipes and made it into a lap quilt or a wall hanging size. I don't know what you call that when you guys can photocopy a recipe onto fabric or words onto fabric.
Oh, sure.
She did it with recipes,
Sure,
and I thought for all you
Sure.
creative
And
sewers,
Ann,
how
we should let you introduce yourself and say,
I'm Anne from Independence. So, but
we've
the
got-
idea I
now
wanted
we've
to,
got both.
yeah, the idea I wanted to share with that is if you have a foodie family or some family heirloom recipes, I saw her wall hanging and I thought it'd be so cute if you guys would make it into aprons to
Oh,
give family members. So that
Great
would be cute.
Oh,
So you guys
that is
have
a
fun.
cute idea. So if anybody's never done any kind of photo transfer, there's a lot of different ways to do it. We do have, I don't know if I have any in stock at the moment, but I can get them, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of fabric that is ready to go through your inkjet printer. And you can literally print right from your home printer. It tells you how to make it permanent. I've done a lot of that in the years. If you're wanting something bigger, spoonflower.com is the place to go. And
Raven, leave it.
I've worked with several people there, several people
Just leave her
on
alone.
projects. And again, if just gonna say, just put yourself on mute if you have background noise going on, so that we make sure that everybody can hear. But yeah, spoonflower.com is a great place to do bigger pieces. So good tip, love it.
Heidi, what is it that what are you working on in your sewing room today?
Well, have you, it's a collection from Marcus Fabrics, and it's called Allure Noir, I think. And this is the center strip
Oh,
of
bring
the
it up
quilt.
closer.
I don't know.
No, can you bring up that
Okay.
center so we can see just a little bit?
There you go. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
And so that's the center. It's a little harder to see with the bright window behind.
That is.
Here, how about if I do this? How about if I double it? Maybe not a little. They're, I would describe them as almost kind of like reproduction fabrics, but with a little bit of an update. I would not call them true hardcore fabrics that are, reproduction. It's from Marcus Fabrics, and the designer is Nancy Rink. And we've done a lot with Nancy Rink in the past. She's got like all the Amish quilts, Amish twist, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those. And so I have the center strip. I had to do it sew it together a little different because of the center block. And now my job is, because do you ever do this? You have it all laid out and then I had to move it. So I put all my blocks back into a pile. And now I have to spend the next little while laying them all out again,
Yep.
so that I
Absolutely.
can, and it's.
Raise
it's
your
really
hand
good.
if you've ever done that, right? We're on Zoom, so everybody can give a thumbs up or raise their
Yeah.
hand. They can have done that. I just did the same thing. In fact, I had to get out all my pieces and lay them, but I'm still in the sewing the blocks together phase. So I had to get all my little pieces and lay them back out and try to remember exactly the pattern of progression I needed them laid back out in, because I'd put them away.
Yeah, because it's hard. sometimes I can't always leave a project laying out on the living room floor or the, whatever. Because even though I have a fairly decent sized sewing room, when there's 3 of us in here, it's not big enough. And
Oh, yeah.
so we expand into, like, right now, the girls are sewing on the dining room table because they're working on a big quilt that's laid out on the floor, and they don't, it's hard. It's just easier to do it out there than it is to do it in here.
What quilt are they working on?
Oh,
I know.
well, let's see, where did I put it? Hold on. Oh, maybe the girls have it. Girls, do you have the book, Scrappiness is Happiness? Oh, bring it back, please. Okay, they're getting the book. It's Scrappiness is Happiness, and we have been showing it. Oh, Jamie, what's the name of the quilt that Practical Magic is the name of the fabric, and then this
Yeah.
this is the pattern.
Yep.
And
Happy
it's pattern.
Yep.
Yep. And so it's also the one it's on the cover of this. So this is the book. And you see all the tabs at the top when we got a sample copy of the book. And I thought, oh, is it going to be worth that? Let's see, what is it? Is it $34.95 for the book? So I got my sticky notes out and thought, we'll see if I get 3 or 4 that I really like. Well, I don't know if you can.
She has I think all but 1 page mark, but Heidi, would you look in that? Because we came up with this idea. I don't even know if I told you, but find the Santa hat pattern in that book. Because I think one thing is, sometimes we see a whole quilt, maybe we don't want the whole quilt, but in this book, there's a Santa hat pattern. I think it'd be super cute as a table runner or make into placemats. And you could put, if it was table runner, if she gets it, they're all laying straight. But if you just took 1 row of those, I'm pointing to it on the screen, you can't see it. And put one going one direction, then the other going the opposite direction. And so you could really see. And you could even put names on the hats and stuff too. I just thought that was a really super cute one. I was looking at it the other day.
That would be
Needed some
good,
inspiration for something. I don't know, something to do because I have nothing to do.
Well, we have multiple projects coming out of this book, but yeah, my copy is already starting to look nice and worn because we love it. There's just so many good things. And so the girls are making it out of scraps that we have. That have sort of in their own scrap bin, because my computer is sitting on my fabric wall, and they have several bins over here that's their fabric stash. So we have kind of a couple different things. So they're trying to use up their fabric stash. And they were working on it during the last retreat. And so they made great progress because that was a couple of day retreat. So that was good. And if anybody has questions, and I got to remember to admit here, hold on, admit all. If anybody has questions, either pop them in the chat or by all means, turn your mute off, and let us know if you have a question.
Yeah, and let me give a shout out too to some of our people that are on Facebook that I don't see on here. Give a shout out too to some of our people that are on. Is that going on? That I don't see on. Give a shout out too to some of our people that are on.
Yep, and be sure to go ahead and put your mute on. Put your mute on if you're not talking. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
That kind of freaked me out listening to myself. But Annette Quack is there. Carolyn Gibson. It looks like she's watching. My mom, which I'm not sure, Mom, why you're not on here with your hat that you said you were going to put on. Becky. Sorry that some of you are feeling, Jerry, you said you're not feeling well, so you have to stay home, but hey, you're getting some fine entertainment. Wendy, welcome watching us. LaDonna. So some of these people, Jan, are watching on Facebook and not on the Zoom link here, and that's perfectly fine. I hope they're working on showing or doing something fun today as they're doing it. But what's really fun is to see, I can tell people are actually working while we're talking here, Heidi, because they're moving around and
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that. And what have you been working on?
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you in a second, but Mom says she can't get on live. So let me mute and that might help my mom get on here. Just a second, okay? So I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Well, very good. Does somebody want to pop on and tell us what they're working on? I see, I mean, I know Deb Gertis, she's working on a project back there. Anybody else you want to jump on, Deb? All right, tell us what you're working on. Turn your mute on, go to the bottom left-hand corner of your computer, and it should, or hold on, I can actually ask you to unmute.
All
There you
right,
go.
can you hear
There
me
you go.
now?
Yep. Tell us what you're working on.
Well, one of my goals this year is to make a quilt out of every one of the stripology, mixology books. So I'm on this one today. Can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can. Show us
Okay.
what you're doing.
I'm doing Rosie,
Very pretty.
and I'm doing,
And
let me
say
grab
it
a block.
again, which stripology, mixology? Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3, got it. Thank you. So you're doing Rosie. Now, are you doing it all out of scraps?
I wouldn't say scraps, it's out of my stash, however.
There you
We-
go.
We have someone special that's going to be moving away in a month. And so it's cram time and I want to gift them this quilt. And it just happens that I looked through everything I've got. And this one stuck out because their dog's name is Rosie. So I'm like, well, how can I not make Rosie for them? And I bought the Stripology XL ruler a while back from your shop. And I've had a tough learning curve, but I'm getting onto it because this is the second project I've used an actual GE Designs pattern for. You couldn't make this without that ruler. It's impossible because I'm in the middle of the blocks. My next step is to trim them to 7.5 inches.
Oh,
But
sure.
you can kind of see how that's just how it goes together. There's several steps, but it's not hard at all. And with that ruler, you put it down one time, it's square, and you zap it, and then you remix your strips again. Kind of how she does that quite a bit, I think, in her patterns, because I've made Kira, I think was the name of the one that I made before, and it did that. And I didn't have that Stripology ruler, and it's much easier with it. So this
To hear you say that, Deb, because I love the Stripology ruler. So I'm very glad to hear it does. It makes a huge difference. And her patterns are written so well to allot for that. If you're not perfect necessarily, that trimming it and squaring it and that next step makes it perfect.
yeah.
Doesn't say she's got.
This is a trimmed version. I don't know if you can see it
Yep.
very
Oh yeah, it's adorable.
And look at those little dinky triangles on the,
Yeah.
and they match up when you put them side by side, or allegedly they should.
I bet they will. I have
I
confidence.
bet they will.
I have
So-
confidence. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing that. I did put the link
Thanks for
on
sharing
again.
them.
If somebody that is watching on Facebook wants to join, I put the link for Zoom in the comments on the Facebook feed. So they can certainly look in there and find it and join us that way if they would like to as well. I know some people may not want to, but we're glad if you're either way, whether you're watching us via Facebook or joining us on Zoom, it's sure is fun to have people. I mean, what else? Yeah, if you're in Central Iowa, what else do you have to do today, right? We're
That's,
just more than Central
that's
Iowa.
exactly right. That's right. I know we've got some Minnesotans with us, so that's wonderful. And and Julie, your hat is beautiful. And hi, Susan, how are you doing?
Oh, there, she got on
Good.
now.
Yep, I see Julie, and yeah, so this is awesome. Okay, so Jamie, what is it you're working on?
Well, I got a couple things here. Imagine that. A couple things. The one thing I'm working on is I got piles of fabric for the I almost said buttermilk again, buttercup quilt, which here's
We
one.
keep saying, you know, we have a lot of fun with fabric names of trying to remember them. And Jamie
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
wanting to call this one
Buttermilk.
buttermilk, but I do have to tell on us, Jamie.
Oh, yeah,
that
tell us from
You
yesterday.
got, what day was it we were live? I don't even remember. Was that Wednesday?
It was yesterday.
Was it
Yeah.
yesterday? See, I can't even remember. And we could not think of the new Cluck Cluck Sew fabric collection. It was just beside us. We could not think of it. And a little bit later, Jamie goes, Heidi, the name of it was Forget Me Not.
That's the name of the collection.
So
Yeah.
kind of the irony in there. Love it. So anyway, okay. So you're working on,
One of the things I'm working on, so is continuing to work on this, which is beautiful. With all
that's
the,
Buttercup and Slate, and that's Casanova.
yep. And that is
from-
stripology pattern too, from just the stripology, make, strip your stash, book, right?
Strip Your Stash book.
Yep.
That's the Strip Your Stash book.
And then on the back here, I have this little guy hanging over. Anybody else use like weird things? So that's actually an old computer monitor, but it holds strips very nicely in the background right there. See it? Telling off all my bad, dirty secrets, but this is one where I'm working on too. And this one, I love this.
Oh yeah, the colors of that one are so pretty. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, traditional yet it just very, very nice.
Yeah, and then I got one more thing, and if Stacy happens to be watching or catching it later, this is for Stacy. The sacrifices you will do for a friend, and everybody will appreciate this if they know. 'Cause I think I'm gonna need some new eyes after this, but this is in my house and I might need some eye drops after I do this, but I'm finishing this for Stacy. I need to finish that today too, but anyway, that in all fun, if you're a Hawkeye fan, that's an all, yeah.
Gavin is saying yes. Hawkeye.
Yeah, and all fun, but yeah, so those are just a few of the things, you know, it's always fun to have a big project, but I also think oftentimes it's nice to have a smaller project, something that goes together quick, because I love piecing. Maybe somebody else can thumbs up or give a high five or make a comment. I love the piecing. I love the looks of all the small pieces together and putting it, but sometimes you just need something that goes fast, you know, and not an hour per block or something like that. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing.
Well, that is good. Does anybody else want to share what they're working on? Oh, Kathy, I see that you're working on a crumb quilt. Do you have anything to show us? And maybe tell what a crumb quilt is.
Well, I have never made one, but I have scraps like we all do. So I have these kind of different Christmas colors, which are like a gray, blue, and then golds. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to put together here, but I've watched crumb quilting on YouTube and I just love it, but I never tried it. So I thought I'll start with something small like a pillow. See how this gray blue, but it's got gold in it. So I'll put this gold, and then the snowmen, probably can't see it too well, have kind of an orangey golds and greens and cream background. So I'm scrapping right now. I'm pulling scraps. So and I'm excited about it because I've always wanted to try. And I thought today I'm going to make myself sit down and just do it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to do that. We just gotta take the bull by the horns and get it done, right?
Yeah. Fun time, me time. Oh, and here's a matching that goes with, I don't know if you can see this. I just found the olive green and oranges that is coordinating fabric. So the deeper I dig, the more I find. We know how that is, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know even this morning, I won't lie. I actually spent some time cleaning in my sewing room, which was, I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes that's a pleasure because it just means that I'm in my space and I'm touching my stuff. As funny, as weird as that might sound, but I'd pick up something and I'd be like, oh yes, I love that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, underneath that is this. And, it kind of reminds me of what stuff I have. And gives me a little inspiration in a different way.
Did you find anything that you forgot you had when you were playing?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I'm just trying to think where I said it. Because there was, I'll be back.
Well, I'll tell a story one time and maybe somebody else can relate to this. I had, and my mom will probably start laughing because she knows it. I had bought a panel, one for my niece and one for my nephew to make something for Christmas. And I looked forever. I could not find where I put it. I put it away someplace safe. I knew where it was. It was, in fact, I still have them. I think I know where they are now. I looked for 2 years for these panels. I knew I bought a Frozen and was a Minion panel that I was going to make pillowcases out of the panel, cut it apart, blah, blah. Looked forever, fine, gave up on it, opened a quilt that needed to be quilted, and they were folded inside of that quilt. I have no idea why they were folded inside of a quilt that needed to be quilted, but also that goes to a story how long that quilt that needs to be quilted has been sitting around.
And I can say I wish that I could find my a good pair of scissors that has been misplaced. And it's in something just like
Oh, yeah,
that. And
yeah.
we're gonna open it up someday and go, oh, that's where it's at. Okay, so this is from 2015. But when we started doing row by row at Hen and Chick Studio, we were doing license plates, and this was I just thought a very clever Cool Chicks quilt license plate, and I found it and I thought, oh, I forgot about that. And so I liked it, and it was kind of funny because we're doing row by row again this year. They're coming back with it, so we're gonna do row by row, so that'll be fun. And it kind of was like, oh, maybe I'll have to drag this out of the archives as well, because I do think it's kind of fun. So
Absolutely, Heidi.
ooh, Millie,
Oh, what's that?
what is Millie
Is that
working
the one
on?
that she's, oh, yes.
I'll try unmuting for just a second, but I'm at my mom and dad's house with my brother, so we're noisy here. But that's my cross canoes quilt, and it's on my design wall. And see, I still have an area to fill in. But I've always wanted to make a crossed canoes, so that's what I start working on when Kurt goes to bed at night, and I go back home to my house. And his mom and dad and I live next door to each other, so I come over here and take care of Kurt during the day and help out with all of those things, and then head home and work on my quilt.
That is awesome, Millie. That is awesome. I love the fabrics too that you're using. I mean, it's really pretty, the blues and all of
All the
that.
blues and stuff out of my stash, and then I decided I'm going to throw in a few red and white blocks as well, and that kind of makes a fun slash through the middle. So,
And are you holding true to vintage fabric, or do you like to use, like, are there batiks in there? I mean, or are they all
It's-
reproduction? Or
it's some reproductions, just mostly cotton prints, blues and stuff. I did find, I had some Debbie Mum fabric in there, a navy and navy stripe, that's almost solid, but you can kind of see a stripe. So, that dates back a while. So I'm cleaning out my stash. I'm almost out of blue and white. So
well, that's then you're doing a good job getting that all done.
it's fun. Yes.
Awesome. And let's, Nancy, what project are you talking about? I can't see, I missed part of the conversation. Nancy Shar, what are you up to? What are you working on?
I was commissioned to do 2 Celtic quilts this year. They were both king size quilts. And I got them done and I got them shipped off to where they needed to be. And I made a promise to myself that I'm never applicating again.
And when you say Celtic, are you talking about like a Celtic knot and you hand applicate it? Did you hand applicate or did you machine applicate?
I machine applicate it, but the one quilt had 30 blocks that were 16 inches square.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And the other one, the center square was 32 inches. So it was a big one. So that one wasn't quite as bad, but I had 8 corner triangles that I had to do. And I did them back to back, and applique is not one of my favorite things. And it's really not now.
You know what? I love to do applique, hand applique. I've done some machine applique, but nothing like that. But I'm actually considering, and this would be an interesting time to poll you guys. and see what kind of comments you have. But I'm a teacher has approached me. She's very reputable teacher, and she's going to be in the Kansas City area, and she's got a couple days to burn the first week of May, be like May 7th. And it would be a machine applique, beginners machine applique class. And I'm very tempted to have her come because I think, how do you want to say, we need to figure out the tricks so that it's, I'm still not sure that I would do 30 blocks of Celtic work, but that you know what I mean? That we're not afraid of it either. Cause oh my gosh, like these whole country caboodle projects that we've got right now are so dang cute and they're small. And just if I understood how to machine applique them better, you know, that would be, I would love those tips. So if you, I'll say, put some notes in the comments, like if you think a machine applique class, in-person applique class would be something you would like, whether you're on Zoom or in Facebook, put that in the comments and I'll kind of get an idea of if there's interest in something like that. Again, it would be,
And
I don't
Heidi,
have my
let's do
calendar
this.
right in front of me, but May.
Let's do the same for Facebook because we still have people watching on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Those comments, we can't see. Heidi happens to be on Zoom more right now, but
Yeah,
we
but
can-
we'll go back and look at them
Yeah.
later.
so
We'll go back and look at them later. So if that's something that would be of interest to you, again, I might not have the right, it's like the 7th or 8th. It's like a Tuesday after the first weekend of May. So I guess it may be even the 8th. I don't know, somewhere in there. But it would be in our retreat center kind of thing.
the
So
Tuesday after the first weekend of May
yes,
is May 9th.
May 9th. Okay, sorry, I was off by a couple days.
Yep,
But
That's
I
okay.
believe that's the day that we'd be looking at, and it might be, and this is again, something that I would love to hear any opinions on, since we're, if it was a 1-day class or a 2-day class. It's like a 1-day class, you would get to perfect the technique. A 2-day class, you would actually get to work on a project and have the teacher's assistance. And of course, anybody traveling, we have the retreat center, so somebody could literally stay. But if that's, again, if that's of any interest, machine applique, let me know. I'm kind of curious what, because again, I haven't booked it yet, but that's, I'm looking at doing that. So
If anybody would be interested in it.
yeah, she's an Orafill thread
on.
educator, so she knows her stuff.
I
Mom,
would
turn
say, oh, sorry.
no.
Hello,
Yep, you're on. There you go.
I've been making some little jewelry pouches.
Oh, cute, Julie.
My mother-in-law made these and gave one Christmas, and mine is about wore out. It's wonderful. It's got little pockets in it to put your earrings and your necklaces and stuff. So,
Mom, open one up.
okay, hang on.
I wonder if I'm getting that for Christmas.
See, it opens up and there's little pouches, little pockets down in here that you can put your jewelry in. So,
And Anne, when Anne asked me to be her maid of honor 30 some years ago, and she and Jim got married, she actually used one of those and gave that to me with a note in it. I love it. So I have one of those in my jewelry box. So I love it.
sorry, Jamie, these aren't for you.
Oh, maybe you can give me the pattern.
Okay, I might.
Yeah.
You're snowed in out there. Maybe you can make some more.
I probably need to.
They are
And-
nice. I got one, but I don't have it anymore. So I could use a new one, just saying.
Oh, my old one is in such bad shape, but it still works, so I still use it.
Absolutely.
Good. And Nancy, you were going to jump in and say something.
I was just gonna say, speaking from experience of having done all the blocks, I think the 2-day would have been very beneficial for me to have, some hands-on instead of trial and error like I did, and then having to order more fabric and then more trial and error and then ordering more fabric. That's just my 2 cents on your classes.
Very good. I was gonna say, that's worth your 2 cents. And I see a question on Facebook. Angelina, see, I'm saying that wrong. is asking about retreat class. And I'm wondering if she's thinking of, if that's in reference to the applique. So Angelina, if you put a little more comment there, or give us a little more information, let us know and I'll be glad to answer that. So, and I see Annette would love a class. And Annette, it probably would be in person rather than Zoom. I don't know that we would do it via Zoom because I think there'd be so much technique that would have to be done. That would be very difficult to do.
But
over-
maybe Annette would like an excuse to come back to Iowa.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Just trying to
Oh,
help, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just curious. Anybody have any Christmas traditions they want to share that's going to happen this weekend? Like, you know, what you're going to eat or what you're going to do? Anything? Anybody wants to share what they're up to?
I'm making homemade cinnamon rolls tomorrow for us to have Saturday and Sunday.
Ooh, yummy. And when you do homemade cinnamon rolls, are they the kind with like caramel and pecan, or are they the kind that are frosted?
Well, I have someone in my household who does not like nuts. So I do a brown sugar cinnamon butter mixture, put it in the bottom, and then set the rolls in it. So they're kind of sticky buns. So that's the favorite here.
That sounds yummy. We'll be over.
They'll be ready at 8.
Oh, maybe a little early. Well, we always have cream chicken and biscuits. That's something that at my grandma Moore in St. Ansgar, we always on Christmas Eve, that was the main staple. And let me tell you, when there was a year when she would literally at the beginning, I mean, she would pull the chicken, you know, cook all the capons, pull all the chicken off and all of that. And it was just getting to be so much work. So at one point she suggested ham, and there was like this revolt that we weren't going to have that. So, you know, found other ways for her to make it a little bit simpler, but we still have the cream chicken and biscuits. I know, Anne, you guys had it on Saturday at Aunt Marilyn's house, right? Yep. And we'll be at my mom's this weekend, hopefully, if the weather all holds in at mom and dad's, and get ours. Oh, I see some oyster soup. Oh yes, on Christmas Eve. Millie, is your birthday on the 24th? It is. Wow, how fun is that? Well, maybe as a kid it wasn't always fun because you probably only then got gifts. You didn't get to celebrate birthday and Christmas.
It's the only thing I've ever known, so I think it's great. So, you know, I
Okay.
always thought church had the big party for me. I didn't know the difference.
I love it. I love it. That is good. Any other traditions or anything anybody wants to share? What about you, Jamie?
Well, I don't know if we necessarily have certain traditions. I mean, I guess it is a very traditional on that, but as far as food goes, we like a recipe. It's called Coogan, and not very many people are familiar with it, but I made you some, Heidi, but I don't know if you'll get some this year or not, with the cherries and the custardy kind of frosting on it. And my grandma used to make it all the time, but for some reason I'm the only one that makes it. And the sad thing is we only make it at Christmas, and it is so good. And why do we only make it at Christmas is the question. I can make it any time of year, but it's really good. So enjoy that. And then of course, I think our traditions just go back to like the silly grab bags and, you know, just the family time together and that sort of stuff. But food wise, I would say we're pretty open to any options to what anybody brings, but we used to have the homemade noodles, that kind of with mashed potatoes. So yeah.
I was disappointed that because of the weather, I did cancel my Lefse order. A friend from home that she lives in Grundy Center, and she makes Lefse. And so weeks ago I said, can I, you know, buy some from you? And she was going to make it tomorrow so that it was fresh. But I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to be risking to drive to Grundy Center just to get Lefse.
Yeah.
So I sadly said, okay, I'll pass.
And you're always so excited when that does show up at the store. I can attest to that.
Absolutely. It's like, it's a treat. It's absolutely a treat.
Yeah.
Love having lefse. And again, it's another thing that, why don't we eat it all year round? You know what I mean? We could definitely do that.
Yeah, well, we could eat a lot of things all year round, honestly, but it's probably maybe okay. It makes it more special when we have it just at
Yeah.
a certain time of the year.
That is right.
Everybody looks forward to that and stuff. So,
I ask when I poll the family to see what they want me to fix. I get an instant reply from all the grandkids, apples or salad.
Balance. Have you been prescribed gabapentin?
Yeah.
Which kind of apple salad?
Snickers salad.
Oh, apple Snickers salad.
yeah. And somebody, if you're not on mute and you have your TV going or something in the background, just go ahead and mute yourself because that makes it easier for people to pop in. And if you're uncertain how to do that, just make sure that you we'll help you with it, or Heidi might jump on and be able to do it for you. But so apple Snicker salad, that might be a central Iowa thing. I don't know.
I've never heard of it up here
Okay.
in Minnesota. We're so far north, you know.
Oh, so far, yeah.
I never heard of it before I moved to Iowa, so maybe it's just an Iowa kind of thing.
Maybe it is. I think that's interesting because we don't think about that. And walking tacos is another thing that when you get out, my sister lives out in Virginia and they didn't know what a walking taco was. So it's just kind of interesting, the things that we don't think about, or scotcheroos that are what do I say, area specific. So the apple Snicker salad is like the hardest salad to make. It's whipped cream, Snickers cut in pieces, right, Mom?
Yes.
And apples. Heavy on the Snickers is usually the request. Fewer apples and more Snickers. But that's all
Of
it is.
course.
At least that's how we make it. There's other recipes or other ways that you can make it that put pudding and stuff in it, but we don't. At least I don't think we do.
Nope. Just Cool Whip, apples and Snickers.
Yep.
Our family is German and we're making something called rouladen. So you take like really thin slices of beef and you roll it around like good brown German mustard, none of this French's stuff, right? And chopped onions and dill pickle slices and bacon, and you roll them up and you brown them. And then you like let them sit in the crock pot and simmer all day. And it's like the most delicious bacon cheeseburger you've ever had.
Oh, that sounds
Interesting.
awesome.
It's really good.
We're going to be hungry after listening to all these food ideas.
Okay, so I gotta ask, does anybody have a snack in their sewing room with them? Like when they're, like I have a bowl of my favorite munchie mix, which is the monster mix from Target. I buy it in a big container. I constantly have it around, don't I, Jamie?
Yep. Mhm.
I've got a bowl of that. So who else has a snack with you sitting?
My friend just brought me homemade beef jerky as a Christmas present, and I'm ashamed to say that I just ate the entire bag for lunch because it was that delicious.
No shame.
You know what? Don't be ashamed. Yeah, I was gonna say, nothing wrong with that.
I'm
Nothing
eating
wrong
a
with that.
wedding last weekend, the cookie I got at the wedding, and a cup of tea.
The cookies were super cute, but I don't know if they were super good or not.
She'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a favorite snack while they're sewing?
Coffee or
I
drink.
do. I do. I have, every year I make kringle with my grandmother's recipe that she brought from Norway. And so my boys live, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. So I just mailed them a box each. And then, of course, I always make a double batch, so we have it around here. So that's always around.
Don't know why it cuts out every
So I
once in a
double
while.
it down before my sister has a chance to get it.
That is
Kringle is another thing that is so delicious and so good.
Oh.
But it's highly labor intensive you have to enjoy every
Yeah.
every bite of it for as much work as you put into it. But I actually might make some of that. This snowed in might get me making some stuff here.
It's okay to bake if you have groceries on hand.
Yeah, that's true.
And Millie, I don't think adding spinach will help constitute that as a salad. She's wondering if the apple and Snickers snack salad is really a salad.
That's my big argument about Iowa, is that everything that's on the salad table is really some sort of dessert, and they don't actually have real salad. So I'm with you, Millie.
Oh, too funny. Too funny. All right. Any questions for Jamie and I that you guys have today that I mean, again, we had no agenda. So the fact that we've gone almost an hour is just crazy. And we won't go more than an hour here because I am getting hungry and I'm going to have to fix some lunch.
Do you guys rehearse before you go on?
Never,
No.
never.
And quite often, Susan, it is so ad-libbed. It is just us because like even yesterday, Jamie was singing. I had no idea what she was going to start to sing. And I added in some words and I got it right and added in, you know what I mean?
And then she said, let it sow, let it sow, let it sow, which I hadn't even thought of. So it was brilliant. No, we never, nothing is, I don't know.
Sometimes we'll talk about like what the general, theme is.
What
Like, we'll say, okay, these are the products that we're going to do because we need to get them all listed. But Jamie, like even yesterday, Jamie said, are we going in any particular order? And I'm like, no, there's no order to go in. And I think that's what makes it a little more entertaining for all of you is that it is just Jamie and I. You're getting the real raw entertainment that we are.
You might be pushing the entertainment word a little strong on that, Heidi, but yes, no, that's a good question though.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And Susan, I will tell you that when we recently went to this Comet Sold format that we're using more of now, and to me, it's just another tool in our toolbox. It doesn't replace, we want people to come in the store. We want people to call us. We want people to go to our website, but the online shopping is getting larger out there and it's not going to go away. So it's just another tool. But as part of the training, they had all of these great resources but when I saw the original schedule, like that was the only time we've ever rehearsed. And it was really more for them to make sure that all of the equipment was working and that we knew how to run the equipment, which was fine. But they're like, oh, you should always rehearse. I'm like, yeah, we don't have time. If we tried to, rehearse everything, we wouldn't.
And truth be told, Heidi, literally a lot of times it's like, well, what do we want to, it's like 5 minutes before. We're at the Comet Sold, we're being better about, but again, that's just another tool in our pocket. And we don't want to go away from just our, jumping on and sharing something or, because it's not about it's about the product, of course, but it's also about helping other people get an idea or be inspired. And as we well know, everyone knows that sometimes you just need something to smile about, or somebody bring you something to smile about, or inspire you with something else, just to get your mind someplace else. And we need that sometimes. And sometimes even getting on the live helps us to refocus and find that little sunshine.
Right. Any other questions? That was a good one. Then I can't, if anybody's got one in Facebook. Jamie.
There is, if we're ever going to have an app.
I don't know. I know sometimes the Comet Sold, I'm wondering if they're talking about the Comet Sold. There's just like everything, there's like the Comet Sold, and then we're using Comet Sold through an off branch. And so we do not have the app option that Comet Sold has in the main. But it was more critical for us to have Comment Sold integrated into our website so that we don't have to deal with multiple sets of inventory.
Mhm.
If
And
I went
for-
with a big Comment Sold.
And I know like a lot of people like, some platforms allow you to make an app like a Hen and Chick Studio app, not a Comment Sold app. And I don't know that, I would say that would probably be maybe something they develop down the road, but at this point, it's
Yeah.
not that we're right. Am I right on that? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's probably, it's certainly not going to be in the near future.
Yeah.
Maybe someday down the road, but not in the near future. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the fun of doing the Zoom today, is that I figured so often you guys can't ask us easily questions in person. So that was one reason to do it this way today, was just to try something different and give you the opportunity for us to see you and for you to talk to us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Well-
ask another question then. You asked if they had a question for us, a question for them is, and you can put it in the comments or you don't have to say it here, but we always like the feedback. And so whether it's on Facebook or Zoom or something, or you want to email us, give us the feedback. Like, do you like seeing what we're doing? Do you like certain things or the aspect of the inspirations, or what would you like to see
And what
more
is it you like?
Because we have lots and lots and lots of ideas, but we want to make sure we're also providing the right ideas to you.
I love the range that you have for something intricately pieced to, I just made a cowl out of Minky. You know what I'm saying? Something handy to have on hand, or I guess I want to say intricate piecing, a block of the month that you actually learn and use your skills. The cowl goes to the grandson's girlfriends that we don't know if they're going to be here in 6 months, and she's not going to get a pieced quilt.
Right. Right.
Okay, so, but I love that you offer that. You know, it's the quick make, what you put into it, to that level of more learning. I mean, I think I'm still learning, you know, after, I'm not going to say how many years I've been doing this. And Heidi, don't figure it out. So, but I just think that's what I really enjoy that. So I don't know if that helps in a planning strategy or not.
Yep, there's always reason to learn. I mean, I always think that every quilt we make has an opportunity to learn something, and I love that. And I think that's, you know, every time Jamie and I get on, there's always something different that we can talk about. And even as we're getting ready for the next sew along that we're going to do with the Top It Off Hat Hooray pattern, my gosh, we were just rattling without even thinking about it, a whole series of things that we could talk about just with that pattern that could be some kind of a teaching tool. So definitely we will do more. And Millie likes to see people's sewing rooms. Yes, that's always fun. That's always a fun thing to do.
The cleaning
say-
fairy still hasn't come though.
Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you can see my shelves. I think you can see my shelves back there. I like to surround myself with all my things that I love in my sewing room. So I have jars of ribbon and different things. The girls there's a whole jar over there of empty spools. That was from all the sewing during COVID kind of thing. And then there's artwork and all sorts of different little things. In fact, here, I'll show you. There's so many different things. But has anybody ever seen this kind of work where they take, those are little pebbles. I turn it, can you see that those are these black, what looks like, no, up here, those are little pebbles. I think they refer to it literally as pebble art. And so it's a combination of doodling and little pebbles and then a bigger stone kind of thing. But those are just little, and the person who made it is from northern Minnesota, where we go up in Walker, and the stones were out of Leech Lake. And so I loved it that it had, and that's where we go on vacation. So kind of something a little bit different. Put it back up there. There you go. So anytime I have little things like that, I like to include them. All right. Well, this has been fun. Jamie, what are you doing tomorrow at noon?
Well, I'm not quite certain what I'm doing. Heidi, what do you think?
I don't know. You think we should, does anybody want to get back on at noon tomorrow and talk again? All right. We got some thumbs up.
Might as well, and show us the progress you made, or a different project. Maybe, hey,
Okay.
what if you give an assignment, Heidi?
What should the assignment be?
I don't know. That
Well,
maybe we could make it fun, just something fun to, I don't know, a show and tell, or a recipe, or a drink, or
Something, as I say, bring something for
something
show and
neat.
tell. Bring something for show and tell if you can join us tomorrow.
Doesn't have to be sewing. It could be something that we talked about today, tradition wise, or a favorite notion, or a
Yeah.
favorite picture of a holiday, or I don't know. I don't know. Might as
That's
well,
right.
right? Give you
Nancy-
something to think about.
Nancy can show and tell her dog.
Yeah,
I'll
I
laugh
see
there.
that.
He's saying hi too. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's plan on it. I'll put out a new link and make sure that everybody gets that. And you can tell your friends if they're around and have nothing to do tomorrow at lunch, that you can join us right here. And we'll do the same thing again tomorrow.
Yeah, and hopefully some of you made some progress while we were talking away, chatting away. So that's really
We'll
awesome.
see how far I get this afternoon and what I can show from my center strip.
There you go. Sounds wonderful.
All right. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you tomorrow if you can join us. And if not, until the next time,
Be creative.